Hi Scorpio, I hope that you're all doing well. Welcome to the channel. We are starting off first with Two of Pentacles, and I was also seeing Knight of Pentacles and also Queen of Swords when I was cutting the deck. So there can be something here that you were doing, that you were considering, that you even had on your plate that you can be wanting to take off of your plate now at this point. This can be like right now you can be figuring out like what's really important to you. If you have anything going on that you have been giving your energy to and it just feels like it's not worth it for you to be doing anymore, can be a time when you like cut that off, when you leave, when you close that out. It can also be a situation where you feel like you weren't being prioritized in a way that you want, or like, yeah, in a way that you'd prefer. So you can be going on to do something else then. I think for some of you too, the feeling that I'm getting from this is that like the feeling that I get from Two of Pentacles going into Eight of Cups feels like something that was very like playing small in some way, and you can want something that feels like bigger, more significant, more impactful. So that can also be something too where you feel like whatever this was that you were dealing with, it just feels like maybe tiny and maybe staying that way, and you may want to like build in a bigger way now at this point. And this feels kind of like a no hard feelings situation to me. As far as what I'm seeing so far, this feels more like I need to think about myself and like what I'm doing with my life and how I'm building things. I feel like this is kind of keeping me in a place that I don't really want to be. I don't really feel like things are expanding the way that I want to. I'm not really seeing the progression within this. And so you can feel like you want to like play bigger in some type of way. And that by you exiting this situation and kind of like expanding your search, that it's going to help you do that. Because you can feel again like something just feels very small scale to me with that Two of Pentacles, and you can be wanting something on a larger scale. You can be looking for something bigger in some way that feels more, I think, like solid for you, more structured for you even. Meaning like you can lean on it, you can rely on it, it feels like stable, it feels like it can hold your weight. This thing kind of feels like it hasn't been able to. There can actually be, sometimes when we have the Eight of Cups, we trust that we have to leave a situation before we know what we're getting ourselves into next. I actually feel like you know what you'd be getting yourself into next. I am seeing an Ace of Cups here, so you do have an option. You may not have done anything about this yet though, but you know it's there. For some of you, this may not be the case with every single person, but something that I am seeing within the energy is that if you know that you need to make a decision, you need to just do it. Because this feels like if you're putting off leaving a situation, but you already have something over here, you need to make the transition now. Because you cannot be feeling good about what's going on if you have too much going on at one time. That doesn't have to be the case for everybody, but for some of you, it can be like, you know that you're procrastinating this, you know that you're putting this off. It just feels like you kind of have to give an answer either way. Are you going to stay within this? Or are you going to bump to the next thing? What are you going to be doing here? I am for sure seeing an Ace of Cups. So this feels like you do have something that you can transition to. It seems actually like you're pretty open to this. I just get this sense that you may not have taken action on it yet, but in a way your mind can kind of be made up, but you can be figuring out how to do this. You can be wanting to double check that it's like the right reasons why you're doing this too. Some of you can be talking to a friend about this. They can be helping you out. If that's the case, this would be somebody looking out for your best interest for sure. That would give you loving and supportive advice, or maybe just like be comforting at a time when things can feel difficult for you. Ooh, interesting. 6 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Maybe you're refamiliarizing yourself with something here. Yeah, it's kind of like you be presented with multiple options and you have to pick, because it feels like you can't really pick everything here, so you have to choose what exactly you want. I feel like you know what you want. It just feels like you haven't actually gone for it. I don't get this. You know what you want. I don't get why the delay. Why not just do it? Like, you want to be focusing on connection. So this is going to help you do exactly that. Why are we still at 2 of Swords? Maybe because you know things are going to change once you do this. That can be why you're delaying here. Okay. This can be a change in your relationship sector, and this can be a change on the emotional front for you too. Some of you too, timing is at play. You may be timing this out very strategically. I mean, I guess we can time things out sometimes without even realizing. There could be something going on with the transits that this is happening to coincide with. What's the advice? Should he make this decision now? Something here about needing to measure carefully. Yeah, I'm getting there be this focus on, maybe this is also why a decision hasn't been made yet with this. I'm seeing there be a need to focus on what you're going to feel like is enough. And to make sure that you're measuring things correctly, to make sure that that's actually what things are going to be. No matter where you go, what you do, where you stay, where you leave, whatever is going on here, there is a need for you to inspect and take a very close look here so you can choose the thing, because it feels like there is an option here that you're going to feel like is enough for you, and to choose that thing. So it can be like, what is going to be compatible? What is going to meet your needs? What are you going to feel satisfied with? What is going to feel like it can kind of like work and be self-sufficient? To choose that. I think that you're at the point now where you can actually be pretty clear on that. You're pretty clear on what you want. I just still get this like not doing. I feel again like you've made up your mind in your head. You just haven't taken action with this, which just feels like it doesn't make sense. Like, if you're in an exchange and you're not feeling happy with it, why are you going to stay within that situation? You just prolong an experience you don't want to be having. Maybe possibly to avoid a shift though. But your challenge is actually to move forward, because I think that you would be exiting this situation even if you didn't have something that you, even if you weren't aware of what was on the other side of this, I think you'd be exiting anyway. That's what I'm getting from this. So I don't even think that it has to do with this opportunity, and maybe it's even a better way to look at things. Like, I would be leaving regardless. There also just so happens to be something that you'll be transitioning to, which I can see is clearly there. And again, I'm seeing you be aware of this. So I'm not so much seeing that be a surprise for you. But even if these things weren't there, I think you would transition anyway. But you know, sometimes we like put off transitioning even if we don't want to be in a situation, because it's like, I have to know what comes next. So there can be maybe a little bit of that's been going on here. You want to be like absolutely sure. But the thing is that I get kind of your guides pushing you to break away from this thing that you don't want to be involved in anymore, just because it's out of alignment now. And you have to trust that things are going to fall into place for you if you're staying true to yourself. Because this feels like an exchange you don't want to be involved in anymore. Like, it really doesn't feel worth it. It can feel unfair. It can feel out of balance. Like, your own innate system of measuring like what works and doesn't has already led you to the conclusion that something is not working. So it doesn't even matter what's next. Like, why would you stay in a situation that's not working? I think too that you're gonna have support. This looks like you may have some networking support, or there may be like someone or people that you know that can support you in this transition as well. I feel like this has to do with people that you know. Like, if this is a job, for example, it can be like you're at a place you feel like you're being taken advantage of, or you feel like what you're giving, they're not like reciprocating, like you're not being compensated for what it is that you're doing. Like, you already know that. There may be like somebody that you can talk to that will be like a reference for you, something like that. I feel like you have to, for those of you that this can be like a job situation, like a living situation, something like that, I feel like there are people that you have that actually can like make certain connections for you, and they're meant to help you. So it feels like it's important for you to lean on that support right now. For those of you that this is a relationship situation, like an interpersonal relationship situation, it feels like maybe you're just like squaring away some practical stuff before you exit. But as far as your mind being made up, it seems like it actually is. It's just like time to do this. But maybe you're also keeping this on the DL a little bit. See, I'm seeing this thing where it's like feeling conflicted, or like having stuff that has to be worked out. But it seems like you just have to take action now to do this. It's time. This can mean too that if something is being offered to you or proposed to you and you're not feeling it, you can end up turning it down because you don't like that. But maybe you're also having a hard time letting go. Seeing your shadow start to feel kind of empowered here within this situation. We're going to pull another spread. It's like the moment you stop being so caught up within things in a way where you're like limiting and worrying and being closed off, it's like as soon as those defenses drop, I'm seeing you see everything very clearly. I think it's just also a situation that it may not feel like the easiest circumstances for you to be in, but I feel as well like something was going on and it was making it difficult to see things clearly, but now at this point I feel like you actually do. Maybe you also were in this situation that you were in, maybe you weren't telling yourself, like admitting to yourself like your true assessment of it. Like maybe as a kind of survival technique within there. Not giving up, you're going to get the clarity that you seek. Things are going to be changing. Yeah, there's definitely stuff about timing at play here I'm seeing. But I think too, you being totally honest with yourself about this situation is probably the hardest thing, because you could have been trying to like convince yourself otherwise of like how you really felt. It was like hiding your true feelings from yourself is what I'm seeing. Maybe just because it like is bringing up something that feels like not easy to kind of maneuver through here. There can also be like socializing and friendship stuff that comes up, or like people within your life that you are connected with. There can be something that is involving this too. I wonder if there's a reconciliation, because after Three of Swords is Three of Cups, and I didn't initially see it like this, but there may have been something that happened that now is being healed. It looks like coming back to homeostasis, and then I'm seeing a new chapter that begins, but it was like not really expecting that. And this can feel emotionally surprising or like jarring to you in some way. I think too, like all of this to see things clearly, that's a really big point of this, because we have Hanged Man here. So it can be the stuff that gets in the way from seeing things clearly, and it can be ways that you're seeing like what you want, for better or for worse, rather than what actually is. And needing to trust yourself and to trust your instinct, even when that's like the only thing that you're going off of. And that being a powerful resource that you have that gets you as close as possible to the truth, even navigating a situation where you may not be being presented with everything clearly. And having to trust yourself and your instinct and the feelings that you're getting. Because there can be reasons why you push this aside. You know, when we have issues with Neptune, whether it's transiting or you have squares with Neptune in your chart, there can be this like self-sacrifice. There can be this overgiving. There can be this having to push our feelings aside to make other people comfortable, or to caretake, or to give them what they want, because we're not allowed to have our own needs. It can be like these types of things here that you're learning to work with. Why this is feeling like a Pisces reading to me. So yeah, I think it's about you kind of like standing in your truth here. Maybe even like before it's confirmed. That can be something too. Because I feel like this can be prioritizing like even other people's storylines, and then not prioritizing your own storyline, and then you feel like stuff within your life is getting really put off. So that can also be something that pops up too. Reclaiming your energy and the truth for yourself as you know it to be. Yeah, I'm seeing you getting back in touch with your inner guidance, maybe in a way that you felt you got a little bit separated from. It's like you and your intuition and your instinct were sort of walking in a crowd of people and y'all got separated from one another, and now it's like finding your way back together, but definitely after some like space and time is what I was seeing. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.